This
Good
conference
morning,
will now
everyone.
be recorded.
In the previous session, we have discussed a main factor, that is main instrument used in the fermentation technology, that is about the bioreactor or a fermenter. And in the previous session, I have already told you that there will be different types of fermentation present, and based on that fermentation, we use different types of sparges or impellers. And today we'll discuss about the types of fermentation. So next slide, please. Yeah, here we can see types of fermentations. There are different types of fermentation: batch fermentation, fed batch fermentation, continuous fermentation, anaerobic fermentation, aerobic fermentation, surface fermentation, submerged fermentation, and solid state or solid substrate fermentation. These are classified on a various bases, and we'll discuss about each and every one. So next slide, please. First of all, we'll discuss about batch fermentation. This batch fermentation is also called as closed system fermentation. Here, batch means only once. The fermenter consists of both media and microorganisms. In this batch fermentation, media is added only once, and we all know that when microorganisms are given a particular media for growth, they start multiplying themselves. In other types of fermentation, media is continuously provided, but in this batch type of fermentation, media is only provided once. That means a single time media and microorganisms are added. Media gets insufficient because microorganisms utilize media continuously, and after some time, media gets completely depleted and microorganism growth increases. After the complete depletion, after the completing of media, microorganisms will stop multiplying. That means their replication gets stopped. And this type of fermentation, nothing is added after once the fermentation process starts, and only anti-foaming agents are added. And I have already discussed about the pH meter and temperature control, like acidity, basicity, that means pH also. If pH rises or pH decreases, acid or alkali is added generally to maintain the pH. And here in this type of batch fermentation, we can clearly observe different stages the microorganisms go through in their life. So next slide, please. Stages in batch fermentation. Once the microorganisms start growing till their birth to death, we can classify the microorganisms into four stages. Their lifespan is classified into four stages. That means lag phase, log phase, stationary phase, death or decline phase. First, we will discuss about lag phase. In this phase, the microorganisms completely utilize the media and grow up. That means their cellular size increases, but the cell number does not increase. We know in the lag phase, the microorganisms get ready for the replication process, but they do not replicate. For replication, there will be some more time. That means the replication occurs in log phase, but complete uh, complete requirements which are needed for the replication or multiplication of microorganisms are done in this lag phase. And during this phase, media contains all the nutrients and microorganisms grow rapidly. That means the size only increases, but their number does not increase. When we come to log phase, here the log phase, cells adopt to the new environment condition. That means cells get adjusted to the environment condition and they start multiplication. Because in the lag phase already they are ready. That means their cellular size increases and get ready for the replication. And in this log phase, their number also increases continuously. So this log phase is also called as exponential phase. In this log phase, the cell number doubles and cell mass also increases. Cell mass means the total weight of the microorganisms, not a particular single microorganism, but the total weight of the microorganisms is defined as a cell mass. And in this phase, when the graph is plotted against the time and the number of cells, a straight line is obtained in this phase. So log phase is also called as exponential phase due to the rapid increase in the cell number. And next, coming to the stationary phase. Here in the stationary phase, the substrate in the growth medium gets depleted. That means we cannot have, in the batch fermentation, I have told you that media is not added continuously, and hence as the media is added only once, the nutrients, the media gets depleted. For example, we can consider in a room, we have two members and we'll give a piece of cake. So two members can share that easily. When two members become 10 members, the cake piece will get smaller and smaller. That means each person could not get a sufficient amount which is required for producing energy. In that case, all the members' energy levels will be less because the food they required are not given there. So similarly in microorganisms also, when the nutrients get depleted, their energy levels decreases. That means the replication capacity gets decreases. And when the replication capacity gets decreases, some of the microorganisms die. So in the stationary phase, we can observe that the number of multiplying organisms will be equal to the number of dying microorganisms. And when we plot a graph, in this case, we'll obtain a vertical line. That means there will be no increase in the number of living cells and there will be no increase in the number of decreasing cells. That means that there will be a balanced condition where number of living cells will be equal to the number of dying cells. And next, coming to the decline phase. This stationary phase may also vary according to the type of the microorganisms and the environmental conditions of the microorganisms. And in decline phase, the nutrients get completely depleted. Because when the nutrients get completely depleted, there will be no multiplication, but there will be a rapid increase in the number of dying cells. That means all the cells start dying because there is no food. When there is no food, microorganisms can survive only for some time, and after that time they start dying. And hence this phase is known as a death phase or decline phase. So next line please. So here we can see the graph which is plotted between number of cells and time. Lag phase, log phase, stationary phase and decline phase. In the lag phase, the cells get adjusted to the environment and get ready for the increase in the get ready for the multiplication. In the log phase, cells multiply. That means number of cells increases. So there will be a straight line with a positive slope. And in the stationary phase, number of cells living and the number of cells dying will be equal. So there will be a vertical line which is parallel to that of the time. And in the death phase, number of cells decreases. So there will be a negative slope there. And generally, we use this type of batch fermentation for the commercial purposes. And in these commercial purposes, the microorganisms are generally taken at the end of the log phase itself. The fermentation process does not continue up to the death phase. Immediately after the log phase, the microorganisms are removed and the fermentation process is completely stopped. And this is about batch fermentation. Next slide, please, sir. And next, coming to fed batch fermentation. This fed batch fermentation is a mixture of both batch fermentation and continuous fermentation. In this fed batch fermentation, nutrients are added continuously, but the older nutrients are not removed. That means the cellular mass, the media mass gets completely increased. That means we continuously add the media, but we do not remove the older ones. This is known as fed batch fermentation. That means it is mostly done in a larger instruments because nutrients are continuously added, and when the older ones are not recovered, the accumulation of older media will be more. And this is in the continuous fermentation, the older media will be removed. So I have told you that it is a mixture of the continuous fermentation and the batch fermentation. Similar to the batch fermentation, only microorganisms are added only once. In this fed batch fermentation, generally the nutrient inflow will be equal to that of the nutrients absorbed by the microorganisms. That means we can clearly say this as how the microorganisms, at what rate the microorganisms utilize the nutrients. At the same rate, the media is provided to the fermenter at the same rate. That means we can avoid the excess nutrient addition. Once excess nutrients are added, it will become a type of batch fermentation, or it will become a type of continuous fermentation. To prevent this type, we add nutrients at a particular rate at which the microorganisms absorb the nutrients. And this fed-batch culture is generally an ideal process for production of intercellular metabolites at higher amounts. We all know what intercellular metabolites means, which are produced inside the microorganisms. Generally, we can say as an antibiotics or antibiotics producing microorganisms are generally intracellular. And for such type of intracellular metabolites, fed-batch culture is an ideal process. And next, coming to continuous fermentation. So next slide, please. Continuous fermentation. This is also called as an open air system or steady state growth, because open air system, here why we call continuous fermentation as an open air system, because nutrients, at what rate the new media is added, at the same rate the older media along with microorganisms are removed. That means the rate of inflow and the rate of outflow will be same. Hence, this is called as an open air system. And here, all the microorganisms which are dying, that means I have told you that older microorganisms will be removed along with the removal of older media. Here, the culture volume and the cell concentration are kept constant. How they are kept constant? Here, the fresh sterile medium is enter the culture vessel, and at the same time, the spent media is also removed. Here, the different apparatus are generally used for continuous fermentation, and generally two types of fermenters are used. One is continuous homogeneously mixed bioreactor and plug flow bioreactor. So next slide, please. The differences here we can clearly see what is meant by homogeneously mixed bioreactor and a plug flow bioreactor. Homogeneously mixed bioreactor means the carbohydrate and nitrogen compounds are continuously mixed. That means the media will be mixing continuously. For this, we generally use continuous fermenter. That means a fermenter which is having a large impeller. Different types of impellers are present, which I have discussed in the previous session. These impellers allow the movement of media. That means this allows the continuous motion of the media and the microorganisms. And it is generally this type of homogeneously mixed bioreactor is continuously maintained by using chemostat and turbidostat. That means I have told you that the rate of the inflow should be equal to the rate of the outflow. For this process, chemostat and turbidostat are maintained. That means they are generally used to maintain the constant inflow and constant outflow. And coming to the plex flow bioreactor, here the culture solution generally passes through tubular vessels without any mixing. That means we can consider this similar to that of the partition or column chromatography. If we are very much familiar with the chromatographic processes, column chromatography is generally similar to this plex flow bioreactor, because all media are continuously passed through a culture vessel. That means there will be no stoppage and there will be no mixing. Slowly the media and microorganisms passes through that bioreactor. And this will result in the difference in between the oxygen supply, because at a particular location, that means at the top of the at the bottom of the fermenter, there will be more oxygen supply, and at the top of the bioreactor, there will be less oxygen supply. Due to the difference in the time duration, the oxygen supply and uh, mm, the oxygen supply will be different at the different locations of the bioreactor, different locations of the microorganisms, and hence this flow bioreactor is generally not used in the commercial purposes, and homogeneously mixed bioreactors are generally used, and this homogeneously mixed bioreactors can be maintained by using chemostat and turbidostat. So next slide. Coming to chemostat. Here in chemostat, the rate of inflow and the rate of outflow is maintained by a limited nutrient. Here the main important nutrient which is required for the growth of the microorganism is limited. That means not a huge amount of the required nutrient is added, but a little amount of nutrient is added continuously. Like how we can say, when we are suffering with any health issues, we generally, a doctor generally advises you not to eat much food at the same time, but eat a little amount of food for some more number of times. That means do not eat an apple once. Eat 4 pieces of apple at 4 different times with 10 minutes lapse. So in this case, what means our body will get some more energy and our body gets adjusted, because giving a lot amount of food to our body makes our body uneasy. Giving a little amount of food to our body makes or maintains our body at a constant rate. So similarly, when we apply this one to this chemostat, the main nutrient which is required for the growth is not given at the same time, because when we given at the same, when we give the nutrient at the same time, at particular time the microorganisms utilize and the main nutrient gets exhausted. To prevent this, the main nutrient is added. That main nutrient is added at a particular time lapse. At this time lapse will be equal to the time at which the older ones get removed. So this dilution rate should be same. Dilution rate means the rate of inflow of medium per hour to the volume of culture. How much medium is added per hour and what is the volume of the culture should be same. That means their both ratio should be same at the same time, at a particular time. And this is mostly used rather than turbidostat, because I have told you that the older medium is removed continuously. So this older medium is generally referred to as residual nutrient medium. Here the unused medium, that means the older medium, when they are removed, unused medium will be less obtained. That means a little amount of fresh medium we will get when we remove the older media. But in turbidostat, a large amount of the fresh media added also gets removed. So hence the turbidostat is less used and chemostat is mostly used. This is the main advantage to use chemostat technology in this continuous fermentation. Next slide, sir. Next, coming to turbidostat. Here the growth is maintained by using turbidity. We all know what turbidity means. When we pass a light, we have let us assume a room, empty room, and the light focuses from one side of the room, one end of the room. When one person entered the room, the light can be observed clearly at the other end. When a group of people, when 10 members grow, the light focusing on the other end will reduce. When 5 more members grow, when the numbers of person increasing, the light focusing on the other end will be reduced. That means the cell amount, that means how much the mass of the cell increases, that much the light passing through that solution gets decreased. That means we generally refer this one as turbidity in our scientific language. Turbidity means the cell mass. When the cell mass increases, the light passing through the solution decreases. See, this when applied to the fermentation technology, When the turbidity increases, the passing of light decreases, and this makes us to increase the rate of inflow and increase the rate of outflow. That means the medium is added and the older medium is generally decreased. So to measure this turbidity, generally nephrometer or colorimeter is used, and this measure of turbidity is generally done by using a spectrophotometer. We all know what a spectrophotometer means. It generally works on the principle of Beer-Lambert's law. So next slide. And this is how we maintain a continuous fermentation technology by using the chemostat and turbidostat, which are a part of homogeneously mixed bioreactor. And next, coming to anaerobic fermentation. We all know what anaerobic conditions means. That means no air should be present. And there will be a different types of anaerobes present, that are obligate anaerobes and facultative anaerobes. Obligate anaerobes. Obligate anaerobes means oxygen should not be present. Even a little amount of oxygen present, the microorganisms get died. Generally, Streptomyces are an example of obligate anaerobes. That means a small amount of oxygen also they could not bear. And coming to facultative anaerobes, they can bear a little amount of this multiplication will be higher in the presence of oxygen and lower in the absence of oxygen. We have generally most of the members will have a doubt that what is the difference between microaerophils and facultative anaerobes. Microaerophils means these are the microorganisms which can bear the little amount of oxygen. That means they generally neglect the presence of oxygen and grow. Even the oxygen is present or not present, they grow as the same. But when we come to the facultative anaerobes, they can grow in the absence of oxygen also, but they grow well in the presence of oxygen. So this is the small difference between microaerophils and facultative anaerobes. And generally, creating anaerobic conditions is also a huge process. And to remove the complete air present in the fermenter process, because we cannot catch air with our hands or with any machine. So generally, to create anaerobic conditions, the air present in the fermenter is removed with the help of an exhaust pump, or we inject some of the inert gases like nitrogen or argon. When we inject these inert gases, the air present gets reduced. That means the anaerobic conditions are completely created and the aerobic conditions are deleted. That means the aerobic conditions will not present, and it completely creates anaerobic conditions which will help the microorganisms grow in the fermentation process. And generally, to create the anaerobic conditions, we can also inoculate the medium at the bottom. That means at the place where the sparges are present, we can inoculate, because there in anaerobic conditions there is no use to provide a. So generally in the place of we do not use sparges there, and medium is inoculated at the bottom. This is known as anaerobic fermentation. And next, coming to aerobic fermentation. So next slide. We all know what aerobic fermentation means. That means it generally takes place in the presence of oxygen. And for all the commercial products production, aerobic fermentation is used mostly. And this fermentation may be static. Static means motion. Motion means continuously mixing. That means the microorganisms can be movable, or they can present at the surface, or they may be submerged. Here we can observe three different types of conditions in the aerobic fermentation, and from this we can recollect the things we have mentioned in the previous session. That means they can be static. For continuous, when the microorganisms are in motion, we generally use continuous fermenter. That means continuously still the fermenter. That means impellers are used there. And they can be on the surface. When the microorganisms are present on the surface, air bubbles, air production or supply of air should be more to reach the surface of the fermenter, and they can be submerged. Submerged means they are present at the bottom. When the microorganisms are present at the bottom, different types of sparges are used. So in this way, aerobic fermentation is also an important factor in producing commercial products, because all the commercial products are produced by the aerobic microorganisms, and for aerobic microorganisms we all require a fermenter in which aerobic fermentation takes place. And this is all about aerobic fermentation. Next slide, sir. Next, coming to surface fermentation. I have told you in the previous slide that aerobic fermentation may also take place on the surface. When we when we provide microorganisms which are grown on the surface of the uh, fermenter, it is generally known as the surface fermentation, and here the substrate may be solid or liquid. That means here the media may be solid or the media may be liquid, and the microorganisms grow on the media. That means the microorganisms do not disperse in the media. When we, for example, we can take as a sugarcane molasses, and the microorganisms grow on the surface of the molasses, and we can also say this one as compare this as the growth of the algae on ponds and lakes. That means the algae grows on the surface. Generally, mostly grows on the surface, but in some cases they grow inside the surfaces also. But mostly in general cases, when we observe with our eyes, you can clearly see that the growth of the algae is clearly observed on the surface of the lakes, or sometimes moist surfaces also grow algae. Perfectly, when we compare this can be perfectly compared with the growth of the algae on the moist surfaces, that is moist land. That means the land acts as a support. That means the land acts as a substrate, and the algae can be compared with that of the microorganisms which grow on the land. That means which grow on the substrate. And next, this fermentation is desirable when the product is based on the sporulation. Sporulation. We all know what a sporulation means. Sporulation process involves in the production of spores, and this spores growth will be more when the microorganisms are not dispersed in the substances. When they are dispersed, the complete fermentation process will be different, and it is completely different. It completely, we can say this one as a submerged fermentation. And this fermentation is generally not used surface fermentation because it has many disadvantages, and these disadvantages are nutrients and oxygens are not equally distributed to all the microorganisms, because when the aerobic and when oxygen is provided from the bottom, all the microorganisms grow on the surface, but oxygen is provided from the bottom. This creates some disturbances in the in the requirement of oxygen and both the nutrients also, and hence this surface fermentation is not used mostly. And next, coming to the submerged fermentation. So next slide, please. This submerged fermentation is generally involved in the use of liquid media, and this liquid media we generally call it as a broth. And here the culture conditions are made uniform. I have told you that submerged means which are present at the bottom, or we can also somewhat consider it as a type of mixed condition. That means which are present in the medium and can be movable like static. And here the culture conditions should be equal as in the previous fermentation, that is the surface fermentation. The main disadvantages we have named there will be an unequal conditions of oxygen and nutrients. To prevent this in this submerged fermentation, Both the sparges and impeller blades are used to maintain the conditions of the microorganisms to grow are generally maintained. And most industrial fermentations are the submerged type of fermentation. And this submerged type of fermentation is also called as a static type of microorganisms used here. Static means movable. Microorganisms which are moved are generally known as static microorganisms, and this is the main reason why this submerged fermentation is used. And next, coming to the solid substrate or solid state fermentation. Here generally the growth of microorganisms are done on the surface of the moist solid materials, and this is clearly similar to the growth of algae. And for example, we can consider this for the clear understanding that so next slide, sir. Solid state or substrate fermentation. Here the microorganisms grow on the surface of the moist solid, and the moist solid nutrient takes the support of the inert matrix. That means consider an agar. We all know microorganisms grow on the agar, and but agar requires some area. That means Petri plate acts as a support for the agar, and agar acts as a nutrient for the growth of the microorganism. Similarly, when we compare this one to the solid state fermentation, there will be an inert support matrix, and that support matrix provides the space for the media. That means for the moist solid materials to provide support, and on the moist solid materials, the microorganisms grow. That in this way, the solid state fermentation is generally used, and these are the types of the fermentation which are generally present in the fermentation technology, and based on the type of the product we require, different types of fermentations are and generally classified, and based on the type of fermentation, the type of fermenter is also used, and this fermentation is mainly based on the type of the media used also, because solid medium and liquid media is used. When the liquid media is used, it's generally submerged fermentation. Like that, we have different, when the solid media is used, solid substrate fermentation is used. And this the main reason regarding considering this type of fermentation is the type of media used, and the different types of media are present, and which we'll discuss in the next session. And this is the end of my session. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Srivali, for this informative session. So now I would like to request students, if they have any questions, they can ask. Please comment your questions in the comment section. I know.
I would take Sir, excuse
Yes.
me. I would take an opportunity to congratulate all the organizers of Bioset of Life Science for getting a recognition, and you have proved that hard work pays off. Congratulations to complete team of Bioset of Life Science.
Oh, thank you so much, Srivali. But let me tell you, may we have achieved one this MSME registration, but we are also going through a lot. We are going through many obstacles. There are many people who are trying to push us downwards, but even that we are also conducting classes. But we only want from you is to be regular and uh, be regular in classes and support us whenever we need your help, because you know now when someone is growing there are many people who want to pull you down, but you are the one, you have to be strong and you have to emerge with grow with flying colors. But there are many obstacles who are trying to pull us down. There are many peoples, there are many institutions getting jealous of us, getting a market of us, getting market views on of us. So I request everyone to please be regular and support us. Keep supporting. We are only we are really working hard to organize all this stuff. You won't find any kind of institute everywhere which will conduct classes every week in 3 days. Even though we are working, we are also a kind of life science stream, background life science stream, but even though we are giving our time and our uh, knowledge, our everything to bio setup and to make you benefit. It's your work to be loyal. It's your work to be regular. Just support us. We will come with flying colors, and definitely in a few years we will try to develop all the aspects of bio setup. But you need to be regular. You need to be supportive always. We will keep conducting classes. We will work hard. We will work hard. We will make you knowledgeable. We will make you beneficial. Just be supportive and be regular. Thank you. And we are, this immunology lecture. So Muju Vargavi ma'am has her father is expired. So she is not going to take class for 2 or 3 weeks. So we are arranging class teachers. We are arranging, animal biotechnology teacher Arpana Sarma ma'am. We got her knowledge. We got her recognition from Ganpat University. We are sitting in the Bihar and we are contacting her in the Gujarat to take classes online. So you need to understand our what we are going through, how we are arranging classes. You need to be regular. I request everyone to please be regular. We are working hard, and we will make you benefit, and we will make you feel proud also. So you are connected with that institution which makes you feel good, which makes you feel profitable, which makes you feel healthy. We will provide everything. Just you need to be connected with us, and whenever we need any kind of support, you need to be there. That's it. So that's
Yes,
why we
sir.
are.
You
That's
and we
why I.
will be standing supporting you forever, sir. And do not lose hope forever, sir, because when someone is letting you to pull down, that means you are growing up. So you just forget all about the obstacles and move forward, sir. And congratulations once again. And we will be
Thank you
supporting you, sir.
everyone. Thank you everyone for your support. This is all possible for your support only. So be supportive, and we will do everything for you. We will provide every guidance for you. Just be regular. That's it. That's only we want from you. So now I would like to request students, if they have any questions regarding this session, please come and ask. Any questions regarding this session, please come and ask. Feel free to ask. It's your class. So if you have understood today's session regarding this industrial microbiology two topics, so just comment yes in the comment section. Thank you Vikas, thank you Jansi, thank you Sunidhi Verma, thank you Arusi, thank you everyone, thank you Risita, thank you Arusi, thank you Preeti, thank you Darsana, thank you Anu, thank you Khan, thank you Yadav, thank you Maipal, thank you everyone. It means a lot. So Amit, now you
Thank you
can.
so much for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge here. Thanks for all the things. Thanks for the organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So I request everyone to please fill the attendance form, then leave the meeting so that you can get today's PowerPoint over to you over your chat. So there is a question, Srivali, why there is need of different types of fermentation?
Yes, sir, because all the microorganisms do not grow in the same conditions. We all know that there are different types of microorganisms present in the environment, like aerobic and microorganisms, anaerobic microorganisms, and different types of anaerobic like facultative and obligate, and in the aerobes also microaerophils and thermophiles, methanophils. That means there are different types of microorganisms present all over the air, water, and whatever the substances. These different type of require different types of conditions to grow. And when we grow an aerobic microorganisms, when we try to grow aerobic microorganisms with anaerobic conditions, the microorganisms do not grow. for the growth of the aerobic microorganisms, we need to provide a particular amount of oxygen. And when we compare these two particular amount of oxygen, some microorganisms require high amount of oxygen and some microorganisms require low amount of oxygen. And there are also organisms which require oxygen only for to initiate the growth. And once the growth initiates, no oxygen should be required. And based on these conditions of growth of the microorganisms, different types of fermentations are used. So, for example, let us consider microaerosols. I have told you that a little amount of oxygen should be present. Uh, and when we're coming to high amount of oxygen requiring microorganisms, a lot of amount of oxygen should be provided. When we provide a lot of amount of oxygen and allow the growth of microaerosols, the microorganisms cannot tolerate that oxygen content and they die. When the microorganisms die, the total media gets contaminated and this media cannot be used again for the another fermentation. This will be a great loss. So first we need to know what are the conditions of the microorganisms we require for their growth, and the conditions which are required for the growth of the microorganism should be provided in the fermenter. And this fermenter should be provided with the particular required medium. And this medium will allow the growth of the microorganisms. So as there are different types of microorganisms present, there's different types of fermentations are present.
So, okay. Any other questions, students? Any other questions? So, okay. So those who have filled the attendance form, they can leave the meeting. That's all for today's guys. Please be regular, and I hope you all enjoyed today's session. There is today's session at evening. Animal biotechnology. Arpana Sharma ma'am will be taking classes. So those who fill the attendance form, they can leave the meeting, and those who still do not fill, please fill it. So Amit, after 2 or 3 minutes, you can stop the meeting.
Okay.
So many have left. Now you can stop.